Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, ALLR just filed an 8K reporting financial results, and I am seeing a key piece of information that tells a story. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company announced its second quarter financial results, and there is a bit of a mixed picture emerging. This filing is called an 8K, which is like a current report that companies have to file with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC for short, when something significant happens. In this case, Allarity Therapeutics Incorporated is releasing its financial results for the second quarter that ended on the 30th of June of 2026. It also includes some other important details about the company. So, who is Allarity Therapeutics Incorporated? They are a biotechnology company, and according to some recent news, they have a market cap of around $22 million and a very small team of just 7 employees. This is a micro-cap company, meaning it is on the smaller side of publicly traded companies. Their stock, which trades on the Nasdaq under the ticker symbol ALLR, is currently priced around $1.37. Looking at its trading history, it has been in a range between about 77 cents and $2.35 over the last year. This tells us the stock can be quite volatile, which is common for smaller biotech firms. Now let's get to the meat of this filing, which is the financial results. They issued a press release announcing their financial performance for the second quarter of 2026. We don't see the full financial tables directly in this 8K, as it mostly references an attached press release, which is Exhibit 99.1. However, we can infer some important context from the accompanying research data. One recent news headline from Stock Titan on the 14th of August, the same day this filing was made, tells us something crucial about their financial health. It states that Allarity Therapeutics Incorporated added $20 million in debt, but still holds $26.9 million in cash as of the second quarter of 2026. This is a very important number. Holding over $26 million in cash is a good sign, especially for a company of this size. It suggests they have a runway to continue operations and fund their projects. However, taking on $20 million in new debt simultaneously is a significant move. We need to understand what this debt is for and what the terms are, for a company with a market cap of only $22 million. $20 million in debt is substantial and could impact their financial flexibility and future profitability. Let's compare this to their overall financial picture. While this 8K doesn't give us detailed revenue numbers here, other recent news indicates they are focused on their cancer drug treatments. They also recently secured patent exclusivity for their cancer drug pairing into 2042, which is a very positive development for their long-term prospects. This patent protection is vital in the pharmaceutical industry, as it prevents competitors from copying their drug, allowing them to potentially generate significant revenue from it for many years. The press release Exhibit 99.1 is where the detailed financial numbers would be. Since we don't have it directly here, we'll rely on the external context. For a small biotech company, cash is king. Having $26.9 million in the bank is a strong position. This cash can be used for research and development, clinical trials, expanding their team, or even acquiring other promising assets. The fact that they are adding debt might suggest they are funding a specific large-scale project or perhaps preparing for a significant expansion. It could also be a strategic move to leverage their assets and fuel growth without immediately diluting existing shareholders through issuing more stock. When we look at the institutional holders, we see names like Renaissance Technologies, Vanguard, and State Street. These are large investment firms that manage significant amounts of money. Their presence, even with small percentages, can indicate a level of confidence in the company's future. For instance, Renaissance Technologies holds over 330,000 shares, which is a notable stake for a company of this size. This filing also includes something called an interactive data file. This is basically a machine-readable version of the financial information, which helps analysts and investors process the data more easily. The report is signed by Thomas H. Jensen, the Chief Executive Officer. This is standard procedure for these filings. His signature on this date, the 14th of August 2026, confirms the company is officially reporting these results. Considering the context, Allarity Therapeutics Incorporated seems to be in a phase of active development and strategic financing. The patent news is a major win, providing long-term revenue potential. The cash on hand is solid, but the added debt requires careful consideration. For investors, understanding how this debt will be used and what its repayment terms are will be crucial. If the debt is funding the successful development and commercialization of their patented drugs, it could be a very smart move. If it is for less productive ventures, it could become a burden. Looking at other companies that have taken on significant debt while holding substantial cash, it is often a precursor to major growth initiatives or acquisitions. For example, Some smaller biotech firms have used debt financing to fund late-stage clinical trials or to acquire complementary technologies. However, it is also a path that requires careful management. If the company's projects don't pan out as expected, servicing this debt could become challenging. Ultimately, Allarity Therapeutics Incorporated appears to be pushing forward aggressively. The combination of long-term patent exclusivity and a healthy cash reserve is a positive foundation. The added debt is the key variable to watch. It represents a higher risk but also potentially a higher reward if managed effectively. What I am actually looking for is clarity on how this new debt will be deployed and the expected returns from those investments. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description.